Bum, bum, bum. Orville, how does it look?
I'm accounting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have a quorum.
Okay. With one wrap, we bring in the April 2021 Staff Congress meeting. Glad you guys are here. Good to see everyone at this time. Let us just jump right into the fray and turn over can't turn over the floor, turn over the digital floor to Dr. Jackson.
I won't break the floor or turn it over, President Wilson, but hey, it's good to see everyone, and I'll be very, very quick today, and I'll save my time for others. But as we approach the end of the semester, I just want to thank everyone again. And it's been now 14 months of a tough period in our history, and we've made it through it. The spring's been a lot better than the fall, and from vaccination clinics to running the academics of the institution to every other piece in between, I just want to say thank you. It's gone well. It hasn't been easy, and we appreciate what everyone here has done to make this semester as smooth as it possibly can be. We will get to summer, and I think there are brighter days ahead, and we'll be ready for next fall. And knock on wood, and we'll all say a prayer. We need next fall to look more like 2019 and not 2020, and I think it will. And we'll move forward in a positive way. So thank you all for all that you've done and for the year that we've had. And many didn't think we would get through last fall, and many didn't think we would make it through the spring. So I appreciate it very much. President Wilson, that's it for me.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Thank you for not taking long. That gives Phil more time to talk, so that's exciting. Dr. Robertson, I see you there. The floor is yours, sir.
Hey, thank you. And I would just certainly want to echo what Dr. Jackson has said and thank everyone for a really good semester and for all you've done to help us get through the semester and make it to 2.5 weeks from being a full year in operation. Not a lot of schools are able to do that. So thank you for that. Just a couple of things. First of all, we did have our first 2 summer orientation or Race for Nation orientation. It was this past weekend, April 16th and 17th. These first 2 were all virtual. We had a very high turnout, and it all went very, very well. We registered a large number of students, and so that's very positive. So we're off to a really good start as we look at fall new student enrollment. So we feel good about that. This weekend, starting on Friday, we will have our Diversity and Leadership Symposium. This will conclude our year-long series of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, all of which have been virtual, of course. And then our goal is to continue these into the next academic year with the hope that they can be in person as opposed to have to be virtual. But we'll kick off the concluding series of programs Friday at 6 o'clock. Dr. Juan Gilbert is going to be the keynote speaker, and he is the chair of Computer and Information Services and Engineering at the University of Florida, and is a very, very well-known and distinguished scholar. So if you can participate and tune in, you can find the registrations links on the Multicultural Initiatives website, and I would encourage you to do so if your schedule allows you to do that. Dr. Carthel may be on the line here. He can give more information later on. We're now starting our Recapture Campaign, which is determining which students are eligible to register and haven't done that yet. And so we'll be sending, Peggy Whaley's office has already started following up. We will send the names to the various academic departments for them to follow up with students. And that's a big piece of our, and an important part of our retention program. And then I think you all know that April 27th, next Tuesday, 8 o'clock, will be the senior breakfast in the CFSB Center. And it will be streamed live for those who cannot make it. And also it will be in person for our students and faculty that have signed up for it, faculty and staff, but it'll also be streamed live for those who decided not to come in person, or more importantly, I think for parents and others to be able to tune in. So that's one of the benefits of this pandemic. There hasn't been many, but we did learn the value of streaming things, which allows greater access to some of our particularly closing events. So parents can and family can see their students recognized. And then lastly, this is an important week. It's Administrative Professional Week. Today is Administrative Professional Day. So I want to thank those of you on the line that are in that category, because we could not exist and function without you. And I can speak from my office. There's no way we could do anything without our two key individuals, Angela and Karen. So thank your administrative professionals. They do an outstanding job. That's all I have, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you, Dr. Robertson. Appreciate your time and being here with us again. Now I'll give the virtual floor to Miss Jackie Dudley.
Thanks, David. I'll try not to take long either and won't repeat what Don and President has already said, but there's lots of good work going on campus and everybody's very busy right now. I do want to recognize our grounds crews. Everybody's been out on campus, and I think all of us feel the campus is looking good. It's great to be outside right now. Springtime's in bloom, and the grass is mowed, and the flowers are blooming, and certainly everyone's allergies are reacting too, but mine certainly are. But the campus does look great, so want to recognize our grounds crews out there working on it. A couple things I just wanted to update everybody on. I think you may have seen that the vaccine clinics on campus, the regional clinic site, is going to be wrapping up here at the end of May. So if you know of anyone, or if you haven't got your vaccine yet, there's still time to do that on campus. Of course, after that, the health department will continue to offer them, but do kind of make sure your coworkers know that. Any students that you have that may be living here or going to summer school, get over there and get your vaccines and get them scheduled. You can do that online. I think everybody's aware of those links. So it's much more convenient if we do it on campus. And I wanted to let everyone know that the Curra Center during the summer period, we have challenges keeping dining venues open, but we are going to be keeping Chick-fil-A and Starbucks open over the summer period. So visit the Curra Center, take advantage of it. If they have enough business, they'll continue to be open over the summer periods, and maybe we can offer more, but that gives a good time for faculty and staff to go over. They're not as crowded, and certainly some of our community to come into the Curra Center too and use those venues. The bookstore is getting ready to roll out a faculty and staff appreciation day or days. It's going to be the weekend of April 29th through May 1st. So that'll be 20% off for all faculty and staff. So go over and stock up on your Murray State items. They'll get Facebook posts and stuff out on that coming out very soon, but wanted to give you guys a heads up so you could maybe note that on your calendar. If you want anything, you'll get it cheaper over there at that point. So that's what I have, unless anybody's got any questions. I left time for Phil too.
I have one quick question. The Steak and Shake, is that still in the mix, or have we lost that, or?
Oh, no. We haven't lost it. It's just, and it's open now.
Oh,
It's
is it?
the-
Okay.
Yeah, the tea room will not be open over the summer just we don't have the business standpoint. So Sodexo has opted to keep Chick-fil-A open as opposed to the tea room. We just don't have that much business in there, but we want some dining opportunity on campus.
Okay.
And of course, Winslow will
what-
be open, when we have camps and things like that.
Okay. One other question. There's been the parking blocked in front of Pogue all week, and I'm just wondering what's going on out here that's blocking off the parking spots.
Yeah. We've been doing some work on the exterior of Pogue. We've been having some tuck point in, some things done. So it's easier to keep them blocked off than to periodically do that. So
Okay.
that's my understanding.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Jackie, do you know the hours of Chick-fil-A and Steak and Shake for the summer?
It won't be Steak and Shake, won't be open in the summer. It'll just be Chick-fil-A because the tea room.
Oh, well, you said Steak and Shake too. I'm sorry.
I believe Chick-fil-A will keep their same hours, Debbie, but I will double check that and send that to David so he can get that out to the group. I think it'll be 10:30, I think until 8-ish, but I will confirm that those hours will be kind of the same.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you had said Steak and Shake, but just Chick-fil-A then.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A
Okay.
and Starbucks.
Oh, Starbucks. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
My brain just went dead at that time. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Dudley. Now we will turn to the ever happy Joyce Gordon.
Thank you, President Wilson. Just one thing, not very long at all today. Those of you who are Racer Wellness participants, and hopefully some of the rest of you as well, realize that April 1st, we started the second quarter of our healthy habits, which is increasing our physical activity. If you haven't looked at the Racer Wellness website, you'll see, and we appreciate Dr. Jackson providing the video for us to kind of encourage campus to do that. The next thing you'll see kind of coming up is that we have partnered with the health services, Village MD Health Services, and we are going to be sending out in the next several days an interest survey on an activity that we might be partnering with to see how we can also not just provide the opportunities for increase, but for those who are interested, track the biometrics such as blood pressure, all of those things that they're willing to, kind of do a check-in for. So there will be a very short interest survey coming out on that. And so stay tuned for more about that from Lauren and Racer Wellness. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Now let's go to Dr. Schimber.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Good afternoon, everyone. Just a few things. There is a special board meeting this Friday. I'm going to let Regent Schooley tell you all about that. But I just wanted to let you know about that activity from the board level. Also for faculty, obviously it's that time of the semester. One of my favorite things to say recently is that, we can see a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's still miles away. So that's kind of how I think the sentiment of faculty is at the moment. We know the end is near, but it still seems like it's going to take forever to get there. So we are continuing, as Dr. Robertson even mentioned, on top of trying to close out academically. We do have advising going on. Many students are still registering for classes late for whatever reason, but they are still contacting faculty advisors for arrangements to get that advising hold lifted. So we're still working a lot on that. And then finally, again, I do like, even though Dr. Robertson mentioned this, but happy Administrative Professionals Day to all who serve in these crucial roles. But I do want to say a special thank you to Marion Hale in my department. You know, I have to admit, I and the other faculty in that department would go haywire without you. So thank you very much. And that's all I have. Thank you all for a great semester.
Dr. Schimberger, the staff have a very similar saying to you, but it's a little different. We see the light at the end of the tunnel. We just pray it's not a train.
Amen.
That's us. And now we go to Phil. You've got about 20 minutes to fill in, but don't do it.
I can sing a song.
I don't want people to get mad and do harassment stuff. I've been seeing that. Hazing is not an issue here. Quit it.
Main thing is, Melanie mentioned we have a board meeting Friday. We'll install our new board member, which is Robbie Fitch, local dentist here in town. Then the only other business is the setting and tuition, housing, and food service, and that pretty well takes care of the meeting. I've been in contact with William about the survey, and each day he says he'll get it to me the next day. So hopefully he'll get it to me today, and maybe we can get it out next Monday. And that's about all.
Thank you, sir.
Now you got 18 minutes to fill in.
Okay. Well, when I was very young, no, that's a different time. It is interesting. Robbie is my dentist. And so he's already started texting me asking questions. And I said, have you talked to Dr. Jackson about your questions? Now he said, we had a meeting. He told me some stuff. And so I have to answer his questions because he has truth laughing gas at his office. And so I'm working on that, but he is really excited. He's a good guy. So I think he will be good with us. So next, let's move forward. I'm not going to do that 18 minutes. I'm sorry. I don't want people to send me hate mail. Let's look at the April 2021 meeting minutes that were sent out. Are there any corrections to the minutes as you've read them? If there are none, I will entertain a motion in a second to accept them.
Motion to approve the minutes. Second.
They've been motioned by Debbie, and I think seconded by Marion. So all in favor of accepting them, approve, say aye. Thumbs up. Happy joy.
Aye.
Yes, raise the roof, whatever you feel good doing. Okay. All opposed say nay. Nay. Okay, thank you for no nays. I appreciate it. The vote is affirmative, so those have been accepted. On to the treasurer's report. Are there any corrections with the treasurer's report for April? If there is none, is there a motion and a second to accept them?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Make a motion then. Oh, you wasn't doing that. Okay. All in favor of accepting, please let it be known by the appropriate thumb up. A whole bunch of thumbs there. This is very exciting. The nays, again, nay. Thank you. It passes. We shall move forward to reports from committees. The executive committee met. Not really a lot for us to talk about. There's several things that will come up out of committee. The different committees that have met that I think will be more for us to discuss and have some information on. But we just planning toward the end of this semester. So that's very good. So I don't want to belabor that. It's very good. We'll move on. So let's go to credentials and elections.
I've got part of the report, and then I'll let Evan fill us up on the other part. The faculty regent election has concluded, and that concluded after we had our last meeting. The winner was Phil Schooley with 201 votes. S.G. Carthel came in with 70, Kevin Crawford 93, and Josh Morton 15. And we ended up with a 49.54% voter turnout. So congratulations to everyone, and thanks to everyone. That is second, I believe, only to the 62% voter turnout that we had in the very first staff regent election, which Marie Jones won. So congratulations to everybody on that one. And let's see, we've got another election going, and I will let Evan fill us in on that one.
Sure. I checked with Brantley this morning, and I think there were about 140 votes. So this is maybe a little bit low, but we've still got some time left. I was just checking with them to make sure everything was still working. And as far as I know, it is. But yeah, I think we're around 140. And at that point this morning, there were like 6 votes in the morning. So that's where we stand as far as that goes.
Thank you. Thank you for that report. Remind everybody, if you haven't, get out. You can't get out and vote, but go to your computer and vote for individuals to be next year. So, Staff Recognition Committee, Jeremy.
We've not had cause to meet, but I will say the virtual staff recognition video event is almost completed. I have one excellent staff member who is so busy being excellent that I cannot nail him down on the things I need. So I have one hole that has to be filled, and I'm working to do that. And once we have that, the program is completed and will be ready for streaming. And that's the end of my report.
What Jeremy is being nice, not saying, is he finally got Phil to do what he was supposed to do.
Phil did what he was supposed to do. He's okay. He's off my list.
Now, get somebody to do something. It's David.
I will let you know, Santa Jr., that I did mine before you went over.
Yes, you did. Yeah, had to clean it up.
That was the first time. Thank you. But we'll get that out. I know that Jackie, I know that Sharon has texted me a couple of times and emailed me, and I have not talked with Jeremy yet, but if we can't nail this person down, we may just have to go ahead and do it and draw some stick figures of the person. I'm really good at art. They really have big heads and little stick, but I'll help you. We will make it happen. Communications Committee.
We have not met, but I did send out the information form again right before the meeting. We're also brainstorming some ideas of what we can do with the newsletter. So if anyone has any ideas for that, please let me know.
A Special Events Committee.
We have not met, but I do want to schedule a meeting now that we're getting close to the end of the semester. We kind of know the rules have changed a little bit on, I think, gathering and how many that we can get. So I think it's maybe an appropriate time that we talk about what we want to do as far as maybe a box lunch or something that we can do for our staff.
So once you guys talk with some ideas, if you'll get those to me, then I'll talk with Jackie and see what we can try to do. So that'd be excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Working conditions. No report. I would say report on staff survey, but Phil said he is waiting for the survey, so there's really no report at this time, correct? Shake the head. Okay, thank you.
Correct.
Textbook Scholarship Committee.
I have no report, but the deadline for the fall textbook scholarship application is September 1st, I believe. Some of the other textbook scholarship members can confirm that for me if need be, but I think that's correct. We haven't met, but we probably should between now and then, but we'll get that set up. That's all I have.
Thanks, sir. And now, for the first time in probably 3 years, we have a report from the Personnel Policies and Benefits Committee.
Well, I know that's a big surprise. Actually, I don't recall when the last time was that we met, but I think it was probably longer than that. I think Randy Dunn was president, Dr. Jackson, whenever we met last. So that kind of tells how long it's been. But we did meet on Friday. There were several things that were presented to us, two of which came from the staff survey that Phil and David presented to the Board of Regents in December. One relates to reviewing the spousal hiring policy. And on that particular one, that's something that is not all that out of line with what we've done with other policies in the past several years after they've been implemented. A second item, also from the staff survey, was some sort of a formal recommendation to support staff and continue to voice concerns related to job security, employee outsourcing, filling of vacancies, and equitable workload. And then the third one, which was provided by one of the members of the committee, related to reviewing the staff promotion and tenure or staff promotion and transfer policy. So we talked, I think, for about 90 minutes on these and went over a variety of different things. So we're well on our way to coming up with hopefully some concrete proposals that we can bring before you guys within the next few months. One of the things I prepared for the members of the committee, and I will send out to the staff Congress members, and I know that we have some people, administrators, but we also have some people watching us on the streaming YouTube that I will, if any of these folks that wants this, they can contact me, oherndon@murraystate.edu, and I will send them this email. I put together several resources for the committee, including a whole lot of links of where various things can be found on the university's website. And Phil helped out with a few of the items on this. So I will be sending that to the staff current staff Congress members later on this day. And then, as I said, if anyone else wants this, feel free to contact me. This is all public information. So I will be more than happy to send it to you. And you're welcome to share this with your coworkers. The idea basically is that we are going to be looking over the statements and the comments that were made in the most recent staff survey. And we're going to be looking at those and seeing which ones we need to act upon, and then we're going to be acting. So hopefully we're going to be back, and hopefully this committee is actually going to return to the earlier days whenever it was cranking out quite a bit of things for you guys to vote on. That's the end of the report.
And just to show you how committed this committee was to meeting, it was Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And we finished about 4:32, 4:33 maybe. So that was good discussion.
And David, if I could say one more thing on that one. I came back on Friday night and prepared the email, and I don't recall exactly what time it went out, but one of our newer members on Staff Congress, who's also on the committee, she was actually up and responded to my email. And I think it was something close to 1 a.m. on Saturday morning whenever the email went out. So we've got some people that are dedicated on this committee to saying that we get some things done. So, if you run into issues that we need to look at, by all means, send them to us, and we're going to look at them and try to get some of these things acted upon. Thank you.
Thank you, Orville, for your leadership on this. And then we will continue on with the Orville hit trade and go to Faculty, Staff, Insurance, and Benefits Committee.
Well, we have concluded our scheduled meetings for the academic year. We decided that we were not going to try to squeeze a second April meeting in. We met on April the 9th. And so we have decided not to try to squeeze a second one in. What we are going to be doing, and Joyce can attest to this, we will be meeting over the summer. And right now, of course, as has been the case, Joyce and her staff, and as well as Jackie and the administrators, they will be working on the insurance puzzle as we go through the summer. And when we reach the point where that we, as the Insurance and Benefits Committee, has something that we can begin to discuss and work with, then we're going to meet, and we'll call a meeting, try to get the faculty in as our own, or we'll connect by Zoom or what have you. But we are going to meet. We will work on this over the summer, and hopefully have most of the 2022 health insurance ready to take final action on in the early days of the fall semester. But and once again on that one, if anybody wants to be on the summertime list that we'll send out to get some sort of updates, so you can know when to tune in and watch these meetings on our Facebook channel, just send me a message and I will be happy to send you an email whenever we get ready to have our call meeting. And that should wrap that report up. Thank you.
Thanks, Orville. Intercollegiate Athletic Council.
No report.
Thank you, Dwayne. They're on top of things over here, aren't they?
They are. This is the easiest one I've been on.
Naming Campus Facilities Committee.
We have no report.
Matt Jones, I don't know that if you've ever talked to Jen or she's got in touch with you, but I don't know if there's anything going on with Judicial Board.
No, sir.
Okay. Has she got in touch with you?
Not about this, no, sir.
Okay, well then I'm going to talk. I'm going to tell Dr. Robertson to tell her to get in touch with you, or ask Dr. Robertson to tell her to get in touch with you. Thank you. A Sick Leave Appeals Committee. I do not think the individual on that committee is here for the last several meetings. Okay. International Studies Advisory Committee. And I don't believe SG is available either. Budget Advisory Committee.
Yes, that's Jessica and I. We did meet on April the 8th. Most of the things that were talked about in that budget advisory meeting were also covered in the president's town hall. A lot of the things that we discussed in that meeting were the same, or updates on what had happened on the things that we briefed you on in the January Staff Congress meeting from the January Budget Advisory meeting. Actually, I think we talked about it in February because the meeting happened in January. Number of capital projects that were requested. I think all of those were approved. The Senate bill for performance funding model was approved, like we had discussed before. The KERS funding changes was approved, as well as the TRS hybrid plan changes. The one piece of news, which I believe I can share here since it was in the town hall, was about the proposed COLA. One big thing that come out of that, there was a lot of discussion previously, and what's being proposed at tomorrow's Board of Regents meeting is a hybrid model for the cost of living adjustment this year. So there'll be basically two components for the cost of living adjustment, if it's approved. 1% across the board for everybody, and then a $500 flat increase. And that was something that we had really lobbied for. The big advantage to that is that hits the folks on the lower end of the pay scale with a higher percentage increase, which is something that we really wanted. I think that's a really great thing. The actual average raise percentage is going to be 2.15%. And at the town hall, there was a slide that kind of showed some of the examples of different raises. So we really appreciate that going forward to the board. I think that's a great thing given what's happened with funding in higher education in the last year, and everything we've had to endure. To be able to come out of that and still have the potential for a COLA adjustment is a great thing. Another piece was that we're going to be doing a lot of asset preservation. You'll see a lot of work on campus. They will be phasing in some changes to the Curra Center. It won't be happening all at once, but we've already talked about, Jackie's covered some of that. tuition and mandatory fees and housing will be close to flat. 0 to 1% increase. Dining will have an increase, but it's what's in the contract. It's based on the consumer price index. So as we've seen, as everything goes up, so does food. So it's going to cost more. We are using some one-time stimulus monies for 21-22 to balance the budget. So there will be some budget efficiencies will have to be gained in the 22-23 year. There was a discussion at the town hall and the budget advisory meeting about if we were tapping into our $2 million contingency fund that was in the budget. We are having to tap into that for this year. And we will have that in the budget for next year as a fail-safe, as part of our budget. And then we discussed some about where we were with enrollment, which we've already kind of covered. So there was some discussion about academic partnerships. We're still in a wait and see game to see whether that's going to pay off. So we've still got, I think, 5 years left in that partnership. Is that right? Yeah. So, Jessica, did I miss anything?
Brian, I think that was very well covered. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions?
I've got a real quick question, Brian. I'm curious about the $500 in this. I'm not sure, so I'm just going to ask. Is that spread out over the entire fiscal year, or is it a one-time $500 kick on a paycheck?
Well, the experts are here, but as I understand it, that's a $500 increase to your base. So it will be spread out over your paycheck, depending on whether you're paid, as an exempt or non-exempt employee. It'll just be $500 added to your base.
That's correct.
That's Brian, that's correct. So if you're hourly, that'll be equated, your hourly rate would go up. But now also want to point out, if people are part-time, then an FTE, a proportional share would be applied to that. If you're exempt, it'll be added to your base and you'll get it over whether you're a 10-month or 11-month or 12-month employee.
Thank you.
So the way it'll work is a 1% will be applied first to your current year base, and then the 500 would be added to that. We've had some questions about the order of that, so I thought it was good to clarify.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next, shared governance. Oh, wait, David, do you have a question?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't be unmuted. The 500 you said was to what? How did you say it? I know you said the lower paid people, but is that how you said it, or was there a different way you put it? The $500 was only going to be added to certain people.
Everyone gets the $500.
Oh, okay.
Just from a percentage perspective, that's going to impact the people that are making less.
Oh.
So then it will the people that are making more. It'll give them more of a percentage increase overall, because $500 added to someone making $20,000 a year is more than $500 from a percentage perspective to someone making $80,000.
Okay, I guess when you went on, I kind of forgot that's why I was asking, because I forgot what you said at the beginning. So I thought you was just saying for the lower people. Okay, thank you for clarifying that up.
Debbie, the range is, if you would like that, President Wilson, if I could just interject this, it would be about 1.25%, as Brian will remember, to about 3.5%. That's roughly what it would be, depending on what your pay level is.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Shared governance, there is no report. Parking Advisory Committee.
Nothing new to report in the wonderful, exciting world of parking.
There are spaces on campus. Thank you.
That I can report on, yes.
Thank you. Next, the ad hoc committee is the Bylaws Revision Committee.
As far as it goes, right now we're collecting information, still looking for possible ways that would allow us to more efficiently pick who is or how we're going to break down future memberships of Staff Congress. Obviously, that will not affect the current election, but this would be something where it would still be great if we could have something ready to be voted upon in the fall, so that we would have time to make adjustments and prepare for the spring 2022 election.
Thank you. Staff Handbook Committee.
Had a good meeting with actually President Wilson, talking about procedures and policies and clarify some things as far as the finishing process of getting the handbook all wrapped up, and just a few final tweaks, and then figuring out kind of what the next steps are. So it's almost finished.
Thanks, sir. Diversity Committee.
on CSG, so I'll speak. The Diversity Committee has completed the draft of the diversity statement in regards to the ongoing controversy surrounding the Confederate monument here in town. That's been put forth and I believe will be brought to Staff Congress to discuss today. Looking to the future, we are going to be reaching out to Human Resources and IDEA to kind of gather more information on hiring process and how they ensure diversity and how we can help tweak and refine those processes as a Staff Congress moving forward.
With unfinished business, there was discussion. I think Kim Cunningham sent out that statement to everyone. There was some questions from a couple of people about having the opportunity to talk to their constituents to see what they felt about that statement. At this point, I am open to whatever the body wants to do. I don't believe it's anything that I can make a motion on or move myself. Okay, Chandra is needing to do chat, so she's going to send some chats through.
Is there any benefit to Staff Congress as a whole, like looking at the statement and discussing it?
I had several things that I noticed in it that raised some questions. Some of it was just copy editing, but some of it was more substantial. So if there's a way that we could discuss it as a whole or discuss it with the committee, that would be really good.
Sandra just asked to make a motion to delay the vote or table the vote until they have more time. And Marty put second on there. So the motion has been made that we will delay the vote until, I will say, can delay the vote till next meeting. So all in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it was, from what I see, it was voted to postpone. The question you have asked, some of you are asking, I'm not exactly sure, and I will look at Jessica, other committee members that were there. Not exactly sure what the process would be to have. We could bring it up at the next week. We could bring it up now. We've already voted to table it without voting on it. We could bring it up and discuss it so that you could look at it. I don't know from a procedural standpoint. If it's been tabled, we may not be able to even bring it up and discuss it.
Yeah, that was actually, I couldn't get unmuted quick enough before the vote happened. I was hoping that we could have the discussion before we voted on tabling it, but
I'm very sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. Was that Orville? I'm sorry.
I think once we vote to table it, that means we move on to the next item on the agenda.
That is correct.
Can you go back into new business and bring it back up?
I think that's a Marion question for parliamentary procedure.
There again, I'm too quick with my votes.
Yeah, I think it needs to be discussed, and then you can decide next time.
Okay, if there's no other unfinished business, let's do new business. Being none,
Give me a minute looking.
yep. I promise I'm not trying to rush y'all or anything.
David, I think you could probably make a motion to remove it from the table if you want to, if we want to do that, or if we want to, the person who made the request that this be tabled, perhaps she has a good idea that we all take a look at it and come up with questions, and maybe we can discuss it at the next point in time or the next meeting. But Marion, I don't believe it's still on. We have a departmental meet the candidate for one of our open positions we're filling, and I don't believe she is still online. I was supposed to be there, but I chose to hang out with you guys rather than meeting a possible future coworker.
So, so from a procedural standpoint, if we've tabled it, we can bring it up next meeting and have discussion.
Yes.
From a different couple of questions that I've seen that people have asked, since it's information, I mean, informational items now have moved on, so I can talk about some stuff. I think that you will see that the discussion from the committee focused on what we can do to talk more about how we can support each other and move along. And it was, so I think that was the issue when you asked someone, where is this going to go? We talked about this would be in the committee, and I'm a part of that group, was that it would go on our web page on Facebook, and then we'll send it out to all staff, and that's where it would go. That statement. If there is I understand to have discussion on it, which typically in the past, when we've done something, we brought it up, we gave it out, and then if I'm not mistaken, Orville or Phil, you guys, it was voted on at the next meeting to do that. So we can bring that back up. But if you have questions about the statement that you want to try to figure out, Brett, if you send something to Brett, he can send it out to us. Brett and SG are the co-chairs. Trish was on the committee. Jessica is on, I believe, Dwayne is on the group, and myself. You can reach out. I would feel like to any of us can ask questions that you might have that they could try to share that information with you. As you said, from informational, as you understood, we were as talk because of, I know Brian and Sandra had asked about sending this out, and I had sent it to Dr. Jackson and to Jackie for them to look at it first before it was going to go anywhere else. That is, I think a different discussion about how we engage our constituents, because we haven't had a process that we send stuff out for them to give feedback and then vote. We have that where you can do it, but we never really have a process in place. And I think we've got to think about that, because if we have that process, then it would seem that everything we vote on would have to go out, because you can't pick and choose things. And you can't say, this is big, let's send it out. This isn't, we'll vote here. So the question is, how is a procedure that could work if that's what we wanted to do? And I think that is a discussion that we need to have. And I'm not sure at this point which committee I would give that to, but I'll talk it over and I'll send that to someone. Orville, what do you say?
David, of course, one of the things, and I haven't done it recently, but I guess whenever it comes time for us to deal with the health insurance for 2022, I'll probably do that. I've sent out in the past some rather lengthy emails to Staff Congress as we were moving towards health insurance, especially, and Joyce remembers this, and when we were talking about changes to everything from smoking policy or even sometimes just recaps of the meetings where that we discuss something to gauge the mood of Staff Congress, and those things many times got moved out, and they kind of dispersed out, and I heard from some of the staff here at the university, and that's fine. I don't know that my thought has been that I don't know that Staff Congress needs to get into disseminating this, but each of us are elected, and if we would like to send this out and get people's input, I think that the big thing that people need to understand if we do this, that this is a draft, that this is being worked on, this is being considered. But I've sent things out in the past without bothering to get permission for it, and got the input from staff, and that's kind of what we're here for.
Well, I understand. I just personally feel like if we're going to do this, we've got to have a process in place that we follow. Because the way it is set, the way it would be, you send it out, but if I don't, then none of the people I supposedly represent would ever see it. And so that's my thought, and that's just me personally. But I do ask that if you have questions on the statement that you've got, if you're going to send it out or put it up, make sure they see it's a draft, but that please contact one of the committee members and ask them your questions. Or if you send your questions to Brett or SG, they can send them out to the group and try to at least have that conversation or get back and say, here's some information. Here's what the thought process was on the statement that was made. Is that okay with you guys?
I would suggest that prior to anyone sending the document out to their constituents, it needs to be put in a PDF format with working document and draft across the top.
Yes, I agree with that, Brett.
I would agree on that one also, David, and Brett, if you need, I can do that for you, or if you don't have the ability. But I think that is something that people need to understand. There's a difference between something that we're talking about and something that we've voted on, and I think that that's kind of good that we put some sort of a watermark or something on that says draft or what have you, so that people will know that has not been voted upon. And I don't know whether Brad or Jessica or whoever is on the committee, if they would prefer for us maybe on some of these questions that we've had come up already, if we get those to you guys and you look at them and come out with a possible revision before we send that possible revision out, or what, because if not, it seems like we're going to be trying to sculpt a statue that's resting on Jello that every time we touch it with a knife, it's going to move.
Yeah, if those questions can be directed towards me, I'll send them out to the group.
Would it work out then, and I'm just asking this question, would it work out then maybe for us to, our next meeting would be May the 19th. Would it be something that would work out for us to be able to give you guys, on the questions we've already got, maybe to give you all a week or two, and then have you to send out another one that could then be marked as a draft that would be able to be disseminated by those who wants to share with staff?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for this, and for we will get back with we'll get the committee back together again to look at that statement and get back with you. Is there any other informational items that we need to speak about? Any questions, announcements, anything else? Okay. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
So that was Tim with a second and Debbie with a motion. So I'll wrap once. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you for your time.